So today we're going to be working or doing some modifications to this Craftsman Propane Portable Heater. This is a nice little heater. I really enjoyed it, but there was one thing I didn't like. I did have a couple comments to say, why don't you fix it? And I did. So please stay with me as you see how I overcome the issues I had with this little Craftsman heater. The weather is snowy and cold, so today I'm going to be working in my garage. This is my Craftsman heater, and I am going to fix a problem I've had with this for a long time. I am going to put a switch in here to turn it off. It's running great. It's heating up this my garage very nice, but I really needed to shut off a little easier, especially when I take it up to my addition. I want to be able to turn it off because it heats up quick, and then once it heats up, you turn it off, and then you have to unplug it every time. So in order to turn this off, you have to turn the fire out first. Turn the fire out, let the fan run a little bit, then unplug it. So every time you want to restart it, you have to plug it back in and then relight it. The relighting it's not an issue, but it's the plug on and off. I just want to put a toggle switch on here in order to make it a little bit easier for myself, a little bit easier to operate. That way I do turn it on and off a lot when I'm at the addition because it's not insulated, but this thing heats it up great. It gets too hot, and then I have to turn it off. And then it cools down and I got to restart it. So let's get started. I guess the first thing I got to do is disconnect it from the tank, which means turn off the tank first. Always let the fan run a little bit before you actually shut it down completely or unplug it. Let me get my wrench. If you like this type of video, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Thank you. Now a quick disclaimer, this is not a manufacturer recommendation. This is just how I solved the problem, and please work out however you want to solve a problem, if this is a problem at all. Now I also had some comments that that's what I should do, is put a toggle switch in there to turn it on and off. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Make sure you realize this is a left-hand thread. All your LP gas is reverse threaded. So righty is actually loosened instead of tightened. I mean, you have righty tighty and lefty loosey. This one is just opposite. So once I take it off, I'll take it over the workbench and we'll get started. All right, first thing we got to do is figure out how we want to take the cover off. Right here, it looks like these two screws that hold onto this base. And these other two screws, which might take the whole base off. Or maybe I take one side off. I think I'll take this side right here off. I take these two screws out, and these I don't know what I might try to take these four out, see what happens. I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out. Certainly don't want to lose any screws. Now, I did a complete review on this Craftsman blower, and I will certainly put the link to it here up above in the corner here so you can see exactly the complete review of it. And the one thing I did not like about it was it had no on-off switch. So we're going to fix that. And we'll see what we got here right here when we take this off. And there we go. Drop the screw. Well, I didn't lose it here. Let's see. It doesn't want to really come off there. Too easy. I don't know what else is holding it. But if that don't work, we'll try to take the whole side off. So what we'll do is we'll put two screws back in. just so we don't lose position here if that won't come the whole way out. Live and learn. I guess maybe I could have got a manual out and seen how it's put together, but manuals usually are pretty incomplete on anything anymore. Actually, I think I'll take this side off first. This side has nothing on it. This side has the dial and everything for starting, so it's probably a little bit more wired up with the valve, so we'll take the other side off. I just don't want the whole thing to come apart at once. So here. This right here does look like a panel. All these screws are the same, so I don't have to worry about keeping them separated. That's what it looks like so far. If I find a long one, I'll try to put it in a separate spot so I remember. Taking off this side panel should give me a good idea on what's inside. There we go. It's pretty complicated inside. We've got the valve over there. We also have, looks like a rectifier or something over there. Here's the incoming power, which I don't know whether you guys can see it or not. Hopefully you can. Here's where the incoming power comes in. Looks like it ties over to this right here, this blower. And all I want to do is tie one. That's got a wire or something there. I don't want to cut anything that might be needed. And I certainly don't want to break anything. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to take that whole bottom panel off too. Make it easier to work with too. I'm glad I went the route I did because there's a lot connected to this side. I seen this screw here and that worried me. There we go. And right here's a wiring diagram. I'll give you a picture of it. Let me take a quick glance at it here. Well, I'm hoping a single pole will work. I'll tie it to the black one. The white one's going to the ground on the igniter itself. You'll see this right here. Right here is the ground on the case itself. That's the igniter, and that's the spark modulator. So that's all going to ground, and that's the common, so it should work on just the black one. Now, we've got to figure out what we got here on the black. So I'm going to prop it up a little bit so I can see it a little better. There we go. See, there's this wire here. My first temptation was to cut it, but it's a ground wire, so you want to make sure you don't. This wire right here, which doesn't look like it's important, but it's grounded to that, so it's got to be the ground for the spark igniter. There is a cable tie right there I'm going to cut. You never know how complicated these things are going to be till you actually start working on it. So when you're cutting the cable tie, be very careful you don't cut any wires. Now, what I want to do is just take the black one off the incoming power, and I will probably cut it in about the middle, which is, let me see here, it's pretty long, which is nice. It gives me a little bit to work with here. I'm going to take it out, and I am going to cut it right here in the middle. And I'm going to strip those wires clean. Okay. And this here is my toggle switch. It's a single throw, single pole, 6 amp, 125 volt. The amperage is okay.
you've got to make sure it's 125 volt, because if it's not, they sell these in like a 12 volt for like vehicles. If you do something like that, it's not going to turn out well for you. These, I will just wire nut onto these, and then I will mount this switch. I think I'll mount it. I almost wish I could mount it on the other side. I probably could. I don't think I would have room. Let me see. I might have room down here. That might be better. The advantages of mounting it here is it's beside that, so you can actually see it. But I don't want to have to take this off because it's pretty hard piped going up into the blower. I don't want to have to remove that stuff. But if I go right there, I'm okay. So what I'm going to do is get my center punch, and I'm going to punch it right about where I want the switch. I want it right there. Center punch. I'm going to drill a pilot hole. I want to be careful, make sure I don't go to any of the wires in the back. Okay, that's good. Now it takes a 1/2-inch bit for that. And this is moving along relatively smooth. I don't know, maybe I should get something to put in there. I'm going to put this wood behind it. It never hurts to be too careful, does it? And I'll clamp that there. And that way I won't have to worry about hitting anything or destroying anything. There we go. But it got through. I'm going to clean it up a bit here. Okay. You can get the on-off reverse, but usually it's got a little nick in it that only allows it to go on one way. Make sure this one does, so I make sure I don't. Yes, it does. See, it's got a groove in it right here, and that groove lines up with the off. And we want the off down, so we're going to put it in with the off part down. Like this. Okay, let me get a work. I want to make sure that's good and tight. There we go. On off. We don't want any metal to get in it. Now we actually got to do the wiring. Now, as I told you, I cut these two right here. And it doesn't matter which one goes to which one. I've just got to get me a couple small wire nuts. This is called a series connection. I'm connecting one switch wire to the incoming power and the other switch wire to the wire going to the equipment. One to that side of the switch. And one to the other side of the switch. Good and tight. Then I can Just put another cable tie around that. What are you doing, you knucklehead? Then we get to start putting the covers back on. There we go. That's better. Now I put this on this side for a reason. That way it's by the switch, so you know whether it's on or off, and you know what you're doing, so you don't forget one or the other.
Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing this 115 volt wiring, get an electrician to do it for you. But most handymen or people that have worked on equipment before will be able to handle this project with ease.
Okay, only thing left now is to try it. Okay, obviously this thing's going to need propane. Remember, reverse threaded. Okay, now it's off right now. I'm going to plug it in. There we go. On. Light. There you go. Seemed to work okay. Now, if you notice, once I turned it off, I waited a second or two to turn. This never got hot. But if you're running for a long time, make sure you leave the fan on by the switch. Make sure it cools down. Now I don't have to unplug it every time, which is kind of a pain in the butt. Now I can kind of plug it in, let it go, and when I want to run it, I just go ahead and turn the fan on, ignite it, and let it heat. Off. So if you're going to run it like this, make sure you do the proper sequence. We still want to be safe. This probably not manufacturer recommended, but I do it for myself. So I'm not telling you this is the proper way to do it. I'm just telling you this is the way that's working for me right now. It'll save me some time and some energy when I use this thing a lot, and I do use this a lot. So make sure you check out the overview I did of it when I unpacked it and tested it and all that other stuff, because it is helpful. It's a nice little unit. It's propane for ease. I didn't want that oil smell. I didn't want to have to keep diesel fuel around, or I didn't want to have to keep kerosene. I thought this would work the best for me. It may not be the best that works for you. So I'm very happy with the outcome. If you like these type of videos, subscribe and like, and make sure you ring that bell. It all helps me out, and please help this old man out. So once again, this is the old man with the plan. I'll see you later.